Future Perfect is your fourth album. What was the most important influence for Future Perfect?
I suppose deciding that I wanted to say something about the world we live in at the moment and where we're going, and also how that translates into our own personal lives, about making a better future for ourselves, whether that be on a personal level or on a society level. I thought that after the previous two albums, people had already gotten the message that the band has been about writing songs with a great deal of meaning and a great deal of thought, and not superficial lyrics or messages or anything like that. That there is a great deal of meaning and passion in what we do. And it was about time to say something like about the future, because Praise the Fallen was about looking at the past, Empires was about looking at the present, and obviously you know where Future Perfect points. So it's the end of a trilogy in a way. That was on a concept level. I wanted to say with the opening message of the album what this album was about. I wanted to focus it because the ambition of VNV Nation is to reach a lot of people, and I think we could have alienated ourselves by making another metaphysical and metaphorical album, which doesn't reach everybody. It just sounds like nice music that you can dance to, or nice music you can listen to, but you miss the point. And to a German audience where maybe a lot of people don't understand English, at least I could have included the message of the album in the very first song. Musically, I wanted to broaden the influences on the album. I didn't want to remain with a wall around me of having to make a style of music that is typically from the scene. I think the scene was created out of music that was innovative once, or at least brought in other influences, and I wanted to continue that process. And bring in a lot of my influences from many different backgrounds, and whether that be lots of different forms of electronic music or classical influences, operatic influences. I wanted to combine them all together, but also make it sound very, very modern, and give it a retro-futurist feeling, that it sounds very modern and very classical at the same time, and give it this artwork, this interface of maybe borrowing a little bit from the film Metropolis.
Okay, there you already get to my next question. How important is artwork around a CD for you, and how much influence do you have in the process?
I do the artwork.
Oh, you do the artwork yourself? Great.
To me, the artwork is a very, very important part of any music, because it's the introduction to it. It's the feeling you get from it. It's the visual thing. Humans do use their eyes as well as their ears. And artwork will influence what a person feels about an album. You could put a picture of a very, how shall I put it? It's the same psychology somebody said when they designed supermarkets. When you walk in, there's always the vegetables, because it's fresh. Everything's fresh. Everything's a good, things you need, and you know that. But if you walked into the section with deodorants and hairspray and things, you get a totally different impression of what what it's about. The same thing goes for artwork, in that with artwork it is the visual expression of the tone of the music, the tone of what the band is trying to say, and it can very much influence how you feel about an album. So to me, always representing ourselves with our logo was saying, rather than giving a direct picture, it's an abstract concept, but it is important. Logos are important. They show their use in society is to represent something, to represent organizations, to represent types of people. And so to me, the logo is always the most important element of the artwork. How it's represented in different ways is equally important.
How long did it take to finish Future Perfect?
The writing process, however that however that happened, whether that was writing in my head or writing down melodies or coming up with ideas, that took about 2 years. The last 6 months of it was the recording process, where I sat down and said, okay, I'm going to now work on these little melodies and these little ideas, and go through everything that I've got and decide how I want this album to sound, and really focus on it as a concept, saying that I really want this kind of song on there, I really want this kind of song, and building up my database of everything I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that was very, very important for me.
Mm.
So to completion, I would say just before we went on tour.
Okay. So where do you imagine VNV Nation will evolve into the future?
We will stay as a band who express meaning. We are not intent on being some commercial product. We are not. We do not want to lose the aspect of our band, which is we are for the people. Yeah. We are like we are very involved with our fans. We say something meaningful. We express the thoughts and feelings of a great deal of our fans. That's very, very important to me. It would be very hypocritical and superficial if we were to jump off to another label who suddenly said, hey, we want you to make chart pop hits. And if we did that, we would be turning our back on what we are.
Yeah.
We will continue to do what we do, but we will choose different maybe sounds and styles and feelings in order to do that. But the basic message will be the same. I mean, we have to progress, but that does not mean that the next album will be jazz or banjo music. Yeah. We have a message and a feeling that needs to be. It needs music in order to express that. So the music will always reflect what we're trying to say. That there is this sense of drama or the sense of importance.
Yeah. What are your personal goals when it comes to musical impression? Are there goals beyond VNV Nation? Do you have plans in a different direction?
I would really like to do a soundtrack. I have 2 or 3 dreams. One would be a soundtrack. One would be to do a VNV Nation concert using just an orchestra.
Yeah.
The dream of doing the orchestra may happen. I have some nice help from somebody now to realize that. Maybe we'll see.
Great.
I would love that more than anything. Even a small orchestra, even a string section. Just that. That would be, for me, the perfect display of the minimalism and simple beauty that I think I want my music to be played in. Yeah. That style. I do want to do a soundtrack, and I will start work after this. All these touring and all these obligations are finished on something like a soundtrack, but it will be not a soundtrack for a film.
Yeah.
It'll be a soundtrack to something else, but I will not say more than that at the moment. But I think there are people in the scene who will be very happy with it, and people outside of the scene as well.
Okay, so we look forward for this.
Okay.
When and where will you be touring with the new album?
We have already. I mean, we already toured last year, October, November. October, November, we toured Germany and the rest of Europe, and then November, December, we toured the United States. We have 4 shows planned for the beginning of April, where we're going to do big showcases to follow up the album. We plan to add new elements that we didn't on the tour, and have things that will give somebody something else to see that they didn't see last time. Yeah. We will do different songs that we didn't do before. After that, we're going on tour again in the United States. We're going for another 1 month tour. And after that, it's done, for the moment. We plan later this year to go off to a lot of other countries and play there, where we've been asked to play for a long time.
How is your music received over in the States? Do you feel a difference in the audience?
The main difference, I suppose, is their ability, everyone's ability, to understand the lyrics.
Yeah. And
they are able to get the depth of the lyrics.
Yeah.
The relevance, there's a poetic quality. I suppose the best way to put it is like there's a dramatic style in the lyrics, and it's a style of meaning, a style of poetry in a way. I don't know. It has been influenced by those sort of things. But the appreciation of the band is no less in America than it is here. So we do have quite a big following. It's quite fanatical in America.
Yeah.
I think more because on a cultural background, America is a country that does not have a great deal of meaning in things on a general level.
Yeah.
And we seem to have really found a very good place to reach people and to bring, and I'm very proud of that.
Okay. Will you also appear on the big summer festivals this year?
We will appear on some. We will not be playing the Wave Gothic Treffen, but we will be playing other festivals.